ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I am going to be giving every wide receiver their Madden rating. Well, I shouldn't say every receiver, but I do have 54 of them, so we're gonna have to move kind of quick today. Anyway, before we hop into the video, we got a couple of quick plugs, so don't forget to use code WyattzWorld on G Fuel or Prize Picks, where you can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products or match up to $100 of your first deposit. But always remember to play responsibly. That's all I got for plugs, and let's get into the video. Alright guys, so here we are at the list, and like I just said, we got a lot of people here. Wyatt's got a lot of yard work to do today too, so I'm gonna start with Hollywood, and we're gonna end down here with Terry McLaurin. Would also quickly like to say I'm not gonna have any rookies in here because, well, I've never seen him play in the NFL. So anyway, starting off, we've got Hollywood Brown, 82. I think he's talented, he's quick, he's not a bad receiver whatsoever, but his yards, his receptions, and I think his targets even have just dropped over the last 2 seasons. I think after a year in Kansas City, people are going to remember just how good he was when he was in Baltimore. Now we've got Drake London, 84. I'm impressed with him. He's found a way to be consistent for 2 years in probably the worst predicament a wide receiver could possibly be put in. Matter of fact, he actually had more yards this year than he did last, despite having less receptions. Pretty cool. OBJ, 81. I mean, the guy is still a playmaker every now and then, but there is like no discussion when it comes to saying like he's not even a fraction of the guy he was when he entered the league, and it would make sense considering his knee is butter. And this upcoming November, he'll be turning 32. Zay Flowers, 85. I was impressed with him. I thought he threw on a really good rookie season. Just under 80 receptions, just under 900 yards, 5 touchdowns. When it comes to a first-round rookie, I don't know what more you could expect. Now we've got Gabe Davis, 83. He is the most consistently inconsistent player I've ever seen in my life. I mean, you look at his career year by year, the guy is right around 7 touchdowns and like 600 to 700 receiving yards every season. But they will come from games where he goes off, and then there will be periods of 4 or 5 games where the guy looks like he forgets how to play his position. 4 games this year, he was an active player who received targets, and he hauled in eggs. Now we got Khalil Shakir, 80. Again, I feel like you have to be a Buffalo fan just to know how talented this guy is, but if it weren't for him last year, we would have never made it to where we did, especially with Diggs pretty much being absent. And now we got Diggs, 93. Still got to give him some flowers, you know, he's one of the most talented receivers in the league, still in his prime. Well, I think at least, but he's got to answer back to the dud he threw up for the last half of last season. And Bills fans, you guys gotta let the whole him leaving thing go. Like, just let it go. Now we got Adam Thielen, Father Time, 86, bro. I mean, this old man was tossed into a horrible situation. Sorry, he threw himself into a bad situation. Still came up with 1,000 yards, 100 receptions, and 4 touchdowns. He's timeless. Now we got DJ Moore. I would go 94 with him. Man just exploded, had a career high for receptions, yards, and touchdowns while going to a team where many thought he would fail. Guy always has been and always will be an absolute dog. Jamar Chase, he gets a 96, and his talent comes into a big play. This guy is just such a freak. Now, not only did he put up great numbers last year, 100 receptions, 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns, yawn, boring day at the office for him. But talent-wise, especially what this guy can do with his feet, it's one of a kind. Now, moving on, we got T. Higgins, 85. He just had a down year in general. Everything was down for him, and everything was down for the Bengals. Give him a healthy Joe Burrow for an entire season, I guarantee he's going to be back up to 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. Amari Cooper, 93. He was really good all last season, especially with the amount of quarterbacks thrown at him. Matter of fact, he's been excellent in Cleveland for 2 years now, and they got him for a pack of peanuts. Now we got Brandon Cooks, 86. He's situational, but he is still an excellent receiver. Now we got CeeDee Lamb. People are gonna fucking hate this, but dude, he's a 99. 1,700 yards, 135 receptions, 12 touchdowns. The year before, by the way, he had 107 receptions, 1,300 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Like, that's a 99. This man has quite literally consistently improved since he's entered the league. It's insane. Now we got Cortland Sutton, 85. The talent certainly there. He's a highlight machine. He had 10 touchdowns last year, and I think every single one of them was on SportsCenter. Just we'll never really get to see him pad stats again, I don't think, because the Broncos alternate a quarterback what seems like annually at this point. Now we got Ferry Jerry, 80 flat. I think he sucks, and I think he's a diva. Now moving on, we got St. Brown. He's a 97. He's only gotten better since entering the league, and he's coming off of 119 receptions, 10 touchdowns, and 1,500 yards. This is the best Lions receiver we've seen since Megatron. Christian Watson, Watson, 79. Someone's got to start it. And again, I don't hate him. I'm just super underwhelmed with the guy. He had like, what, 29 receptions last season? 28, my bad. And I know out of the 5 touchdowns he had, at least 2 or 3 of them were him running into an end zone off of a 5-yard route where nobody was within a mile of him. I just want to see him do what people advertise him as. Now we got Jaden Reed. I'm going to go nice, crisp 85 with him. Great rookie season, 800 receiving yards, 8 receiving touchdowns, but this guy can also run, and he will burn the hell out of you. He's really fun to watch. Now we got Romeo Doubs, 83. I think he's always been underrated. He was immediately overshadowed by Christian Watson. And then this year had Jaden Reed and Dontavian Wicks, who's not on this list, by the way, explode onto the scene. He's a reliable target when it comes to catching in traffic. He's a fucking bully, man. And now we got Nico Collins, and explosion here. And these are the ones you got to be careful on. Not that I have doubts on him, but for ratings, this guy just went from 400-yard seasons to 1,300. Went from 30 reception seasons to 80. Before you really, jump the gun, you gotta see it more than once, but I'm still comfortable giving him a 91 overall. Give him a quarterback who can throw the ball accurate and deep. He is a menace to society. And now we got Tank Dell, 84, didn't even get to play in every game. I think only 11 of them. Had 700 yards and 7 touchdowns. He's like Devon A-Chain, honestly. I wish we would have gotten to see him just play an entire year. He's an animal. Now we got Michael Pittman, 90. 100 receptions, 1,100 yards, 4 touchdowns. The fact that this guy just continues to keep coming back to the Colts and playing with what seems to be a new roster on a yearly basis is incredible. Christian Kirk, 87. Kinda had a down year for him, but that's also because the Jags had Calvin Ridley, who they were trying to force the ball to, and the Jags were also just kind of ass. He ain't a bad receiver, and I think anybody who's watched him for a long time would know that. And now we got Calvin Ridley, 89. Okay, the claim that he did terrible and was worthless is not right. He had 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. Still a good route runner. He still seems to be a good player. It just seemed like he wasn't consistent, whether it was 100% on him or not. It was definitely frustrating for someone who had high hopes for him. Rashee Rice, 86. He would have done a lot better if it didn't take him a couple weeks to figure out that he was the only receiver in that locker room who was actually worth a damn. Now we got Keenan Allen, 93. 108 receptions, 7 touchdowns, almost 1,300 yards, and he missed about 5 or 6 games. This guy is still as smooth, as fast, as reliable as he always has been, and now he's gonna be on the Bears alongside DJ Moore with Caleb Williams. What the fuck do we expect? Mike Williams, 87. Still think he's a dominant receiver. I think he'll be fantastic on the Jets. He just missed majority, if not basically all of this year. But aside from that, I mean, there's just no secret. The guy's always been a little injury prone. And that'll bring us to Quentin Johnston, 77. Not only did he also have an underwhelming amount of receptions, but unlike Christian Watson, this guy was dropping balls left and right. All right, now we got Jalen Waddle, 89. Still think he's a great receiver, but he did take a little bit of a tumble. While his reception stayed the same, his average yards per reception and his yards and his touchdowns all took kind of a drop. Now we got Tyreek, 99. He still gets it. Back-to-back years, he has had exactly 119 receptions. He's had over 1,700 yards. And now this year he added 13 touchdowns to that resume, opposed to last year's 7. Like, he is still just as great as he always was. Next up, we got Jordan Addison. I think he's tremendous. I'll give him an 87. Honestly, he stepped up so big when Jefferson was hurt, but the thing about it is his routes. Half the time, I don't think defenders know what the hell he's doing. There's something he does with his feet or with his head, but it seems like once a game, he will absolutely lose somebody and it will burn them big time. Now we got Jefferson, 97. I think he was a 99 last year. He should still be within 2 of it. I know he missed a lot of time, but there's never been a receiver to reach 1,000 yards in his few games that he played this year. But he is special. Now we got KJ Osborne, 78. Every time the ball got passed to him, I looked away because I just didn't want to know if he caught it or not because it was a 50-50 shot that he would. Now we got Darius Slayton, 82. 2021, he missed a lot of time, but other than that, 4 out of the 5 years he's been in the league. 700 yards and at least 2 touchdowns, as consistent as can be. Jacoby Myers, 86. I'm gonna get trolled for saying this because of his bad toss that he had in that game a couple years ago, but this guy's playmaking ability is absolutely tremendous. He has always been an underrated receiver as well. Even if he doesn't look the most comfortable with some of his catches, he more times than none comes down with each and every one of them. Like, he's a dog. Devontae Adams, honestly, I'm still gonna give him a 97. He might be old and he might have slowed down, but I really don't think this is all that slow considering he was alternating between Aiden O'Connell and Jimmy Garoppolo. Cooper Kupp, 93. I mean, still good, but there's no secret he has been slowing down catastrophically since his mega year. Injury-wise, too. Now we got Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Again, Madden won't do it, but he broke, what, 2 rookie receiving records, 1,400 yards, over 100 receptions? Give him a 91. At least, he still deserves it. Pretty sure after Jefferson's rookie year, Madden only gave him an 88. Now we got Kendrick Bourne, 83. He's a decent receiver, and he was actually off to a great start last year, and his injury got him, but he's never been bad, not even when he was in San Francisco for a while. Chris Olave, 91. He improved from last year, and now I don't remember what my rating was last year. Hopefully it was something lower than 91, but you gotta imagine when Spencer Rattler comes in there, this guy's gonna be dropping 2,000 yards like it's a normal thing. Fuck Derek Carr. Now we got Garrett Wilson, 92. There is zero excuse as to why this guy's putting up the numbers he is. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. This year he actually had 10 more receptions than he did his rookie year. And the quarterbacks throwing him the ball are consisting of me and 3 of you guys. Now we got AJ Brown, 97. Are we gonna be done acting like this guy's not just an absolute force? He is one of the few receivers in this league that I actually declare flat out fucking unstoppable. Can't cover him, you can't tackle him, and you sure as hell can't keep up with him. Now we got Devontae Smith, 90. I mean, for being a second fiddle to AJ Brown, he's doing as best as you possibly could in that situation. Now we got Deontay Johnson. I'll go 87. I don't think he's a bad receiver whatsoever, and his drop issue seems to have corrected itself. The guy's always been really, really quick on his feet. I expect good things out of him and Bryce Young. George Pickens, 89. He had a good rookie year, and then this year he actually did even better, where I think the quarterback situation was more fucked. This guy can stop pushing off so much and just get a consistent thrower. He's gonna be one of the best in the league. Now we got DK Metcalf. I'm gonna go 90. I still think he's a very, very good receiver. He's still very dominant. This year he put up good numbers, but his receptions were way down from what they usually were. And we still haven't seen 2020 DK fully come back. All right, final stretch of receivers now, starting with Tyler Lockett. He gets an 88. He is still Tyler Lockett. Sure, he didn't throw up his usual 1,000 that people are used to, but he was still just as effective as he always was. He's still just as good of a receiver. I just wish he would stop dropping the second he catches a ball and actually try and get some fucking yardage. Now we got Brandon Ayuk, 95. He's a monster. Call me insane for this, but I've been saying it for years, man. He is now, and as far as I'm concerned, always has been the better receiver between him and Debo. Debo might be quicker and harder to tackle, but I think Ayuk is much more reliable on getting open and getting the ball down. Now we're on to Debo. 90. I mean, he still deserves to be looked at as a great receiver. He's a fantastic multi-tool. But that 1,400-yard receiving season when he wanted to get paid all that money, which I think he did, that will never happen again. Now we got Chris Godwin, 88. He's a number 2 receiver who could have served as a number 1 had he chosen to go to a different team, but he just has wanted to be a Buck forever. Mike Evans, 94. Coming off of a typical day at the office for him, which is 1,200 yards and 13 touchdowns. Mike Evans is so weird because like I will never view him as anything other than great, but he does have just the most blatant drop passes out of anybody I've ever seen. But they will get disregarded because the next drive he'll moss somebody for an 80-yard touchdown. Now we got D-Hop. I'm gonna go 89 for him. Still good, still hit his 1,000 yards. Still has probably the best jump ball in the game. But again, age is catching him. He's slowing down, and we're just never gonna see, you know, prime D-Hop ever return. And now we got Terry. I'll give him an 89 this year. Here's the thing with Terry. He's been a consistently good receiver for 4 or 5 years now, but he has been the literal same exact receiver for 4 or 5 years now. I know his QB situation isn't helping him, but we haven't really seen him get better. He's just Terry. Ladies and gentlemen, that is also where I'm going to cut it for today when it comes to giving wide receivers their Madden rating. Hope you guys liked this video. You guys know how to show support, and I appreciate any and all help. If you guys agree or disagree, let me know in the comments like always. However, I'm going to get this video edited so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday, a great rest of your week, and as always, I will see you in the next upload.